Hi, my name is Mary Beth Faust, and I'm the Maternal Health Director here at the YWCA of High Point. I'm so excited to share more with you about our YWCA High Point Doula Project, and wanted to remind you about our mission and vision here at the YWCA. We are dedicated to eliminating racism and empowering women, and promoting peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. I wanted to invite you to watch a short video and get started after that, sharing more about our program.
I'm Ty Jackson. I am a community navigator for Children's Home Society. I help pregnant women get resources and feel supported throughout their journey of pregnancy. A doula would have been helpful for advocacy and educating me on what to expect, because everybody is focused on the baby, the doctor, the nurses, the dad, probably all focused on the baby. We need somebody focused on the mom.
My name is Mary Beth Faust, and I am the Maternal Health Director here at the YWCA of High Point. So the goal of our doula program is for women in the community of High Point to have an advocate who can be with them in the birth process as they are trying to figure out what kind of birth do they maybe want or have they dreamed about having, and what kinds of things can they expect in labor. What can their partner expect? How can they help each other? And then also to try to make sure that their voices are heard. I want to share a little bit with you about why we consider birth work as anti-racist social justice work. You can see on our short timeline here just a little bit about what was going on related to maternal mortality and infant mortality rates. You see in the Shepherd-Towner Act of 1921, this was established to reduce those rates that were showing up even then in the United States. And it really started to push Black midwives out of the picture of birth. Most other countries now have some sort of midwife integrated into the birth process, even in a hospital. And that is something that in the United States traditionally has been pushed out. So by 1948, the American Medical Association was really trying to standardize medicine and sort of eliminate traditional healing practices out of the medicinal realm, saying what was professional and what wasn't. And this move led to many women, including Black women, to begin to prefer a physician over a midwife who might use some sort of more traditional healing method. By 1972, only 1% of all births in the United States were attended by midwives. That number is up just a little bit today, but it's still fairly low as it relates to other developed countries in the world. Shavia Monroe, known as the Queen Mother of Midwifery, recalls Black women having horror stories of birthing in the hospital and wanting to birth at home, but not having a place to actually do that because of the way that birth has become sort of a business in a lot of major healthcare systems. Elitism and classism are still present, and particularly within midwifery, simply because it takes a lot of money to become trained and certified in birth work, not only to be a midwife, but also a doula. And it can cost a lot of money to hire a doula that's a private paying doula. And so some of those things become barriers to women of color having access to this kind of support in labor. Our rates in North Carolina, we have a 56% Black maternal mortality rate, a D+ grade with the March of Dimes report card for infant and maternal health in the United States. Our state of North Carolina actually ranks 30 among the 50 states. And we have a pretty high preterm birth rate. So some of the goals of the doula are to try to help some of our mothers and birthing individuals to make it to that 42 week due time and gestational age, having conversations about good nutrition, what to expect in pregnancy, how to care for your body then, taking vitamins, reducing of stress, all those kinds of things to really try to help the birthing individual have this sort of very best process to walking into birth, to be prepared and supported, and then after birth as well. We know what you're thinking. We know what you've heard about doulas. Don't they question medical advice? Aren't they only for people wanting natural birth? Aren't they against pain management? How could this ever be affordable? We already sort of talked about how sometimes they can be very expensive to hire privately. And I'm here to tell you that a doula which is a non-medically trained birth professional who offers emotional, physical, and educational support to birth individuals and their partners. They do have training, and they always follow professional medical advice. They are not against pain management, but are for the desires of the client. So if the client is very clear that when they picture labor and delivery, there's an epidural, then a doula will do everything that they can to ensure that that epidural is placed well, and that the individual is able to be there and still enjoy and support that labor process. Here at the YWCA of High Point, our doula project doulas are free to the community, and that there are studies that show that doulas are proven to lower medical risks, complications, and long labors. So to me, this sounds like a way to really feel supported and empowered as a woman, as a birthing person or birthing individual. Doulas often have a doula bag. It kind of is like a Mary Poppins bag sometimes, and doulas are pulling things out of the bag. Some of those items are up on the screen, like oil. Lavender oil is really good for calm. We can use it on our temples, on our wrists, on our feet, even on our back. You'll see twinkly lights to try to sort of set an environment and tone. When a birthing person feels safe, their psyche plays a large role in the birth process. And so sort of bringing the lights down, being calm, sometimes that can trigger the body that they're in a safe space. Oftentimes women of color already come in with a distrust of the medical system because of the history of using Black bodies for medical testing, and specifically in OBGYN practice. So, that can be really difficult to overcome and is really important to that birth process. Sour Patch Kids, trail mix, snacks for the doula, for the birth partner. Sour Patch Kids are really good for nausea. So it's peppermint, sometimes peppermint oil. Lip gloss, it gets really dry in the hospital. So sometimes just making sure you're comfortable can be really important. And also always hydrating, making sure to have energy for the marathon of labor. Again, these are tools that a doula might have in their doula bag. So here at the YWCA High Point Doula Project, we offer 3 prenatal visits, continuous labor support. So up to once it's determined that it's time to go to the hospital or the birth location, we ask for our doulas to have about an hour so they can make sure their schedule is clear, that they're ready. And then they stay up to about an hour after birth, depending on what happened in the birth and what's going on with the birthing person and their partner. So that could be 6 hours, that could be longer than 6 hours. All sort of depends on what's going on with the individual, their body, and their birth. And then we also have 2 postpartum visits, one from our doula and one from our community health worker, who does sort of that 6-week follow-up. We have access to other educational meetings and events. We've hosted and offered postpartum and prenatal yoga. We've hosted an infant CPR class, some childbirth education just for our doula clients. We also offer a postpartum care kit that has a heated neck massager, tea, lactation support kit, books, and so just some items for the birthing person to feel loved and cared for. How do you qualify for our program? The top 2 qualifiers are you must intend to birth at Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist High Point Medical Center, and you have to want a doula to be there. Doula support requires a lot of communication, both from the doula and from the individual, because the doula can't read what's going on unless the individual communicates that or begins to open that door of communication, particularly when the signs of labor start to begin. Other qualifications might be high financial need. Often we encounter women who are high risk for preterm births, have some other chronic conditions, but are looking for extra support in the birth process and extra education, and we want to support that. How do you enroll in our program? Best thing for you to do is go to our website, ywcahp.com, go to the Maternal Health tab. You'll see YWCA High Point Doula Project, and there's a Request a Doula option on that page. That goes straight to our community health worker, and then she will do a follow-up with that individual. We ask for a consent for services, and once we have that, we're able to match with our 2 doulas. We don't require a referral from an outside source, though we are happy to take referrals from providers, from other care support or care team members for that individual. And the best thing for them to do is also go through this same process, but also can email myself or my community health worker names of that individual, and we can reach back out and have a conversation about what a doula might do for them or what they have in mind for their birth. These are our 2 contracted doulas. This is Nala and Jaden. They are who will be supporting the individuals that go through our program. Myself and my community health worker, Brittany, are backup. So the 4 of us work as a team to try to make sure that individuals are empowered and supported. This last slide is just a postcard sort of snapshot of some of the other maternal health programs that we have at the YWCA. Our Healthy Beginnings and our Parents as Teachers programs are both home visiting programs. So if you come through the doula program, nab the baby, and maybe decide that you want a little bit more support, we are happy to talk more about options. Happy to note that all 3 of these sort of lanes of programming also have access to the YWCA Baby Basics Closet, and we feel like that's very important for those who have really big needs of the concrete support, diapers, wipes, and clothing. So thank you so much for learning a little bit more about our program. We really are here for every birthing person, every birthing individual. We are here for birthdays, for anniversaries, for 4th of July celebrations and Halloweens and dress-up parties and tea parties. And we want the future of our community to thrive. And we truly believe that that does start at birth.